Welcome back to Schmitt Tonight. Proud open border mayors are now scolding border states and begging the feds for help as their city's homeless shelters are being overrun, it would seem. Busloads of illegal migrants arriving from Texas and Arizona. It's pure comedy. States that are sick of being the singular victims of this country's idiotic immigration policy are sending these immigrants out into the rest of the nation. New York City Mayor Eric Adams and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser are urging Biden to help now. I guess suddenly open borders maybe aren't so great.
We're reaching out to the federal government and stating this is a real burden on New Yorkers. We already, as I stated, we already have an overburdened shelter system. So now we're talking about, as you stated, food, clothing, school. This is going to impact our schools.
We have for sure called on the federal government to work across state lines to prevent people from really being tricked into getting on buses.
How do you think they showed up in the United States? Was that a trick too? Adams freaking out over just 2,500 migrants, Eric Adams, arriving in New York City in 2 months. 2,500, that's literally nothing. Last month, the Washington Examiner reported more than 2,500 were also transported into D.C. Both D.C. and New York are sanctuary cities, and they're very proud of that. Back in 2016, Bowser proudly reaffirmed her district's status as a sanctuary city, saying in part, quote, "We are a sanctuary city because we know that our neighborhoods are safer and stronger when no one is afraid to call on our government for help and when our police can focus on protecting and serving." Yes, we are all safer and stronger with no border in a country. Philadelphia's embarrassment of a mayor, Jim Kenney, is the worst. He danced to celebrate his city achieving sanctuary status a few years ago. Remember this?
A sanctuary city, yeah. A sanctuary city, yeah.
You are a total idiot. Joining us now is Eagle Pass, Texas Mayor Protemp Yolanda Ramon, a city right on the border and dealing with the worst of this crisis. And thank you so much, Yolanda, for coming on. We do appreciate it. How fun is it to watch New York City and Washington, D.C. complain about 2,500 illegal immigrants showing up in their town?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, maybe they're experiencing just a little bit of what we've been experiencing for the last year. Yeah, they're complaining about, what, 2,500 maybe a month? We get over 13,000 a month, so maybe it's just them getting a little taste of what we're getting down here in the border. I mean, without due respect to them, it is what it is. They're begging the federal government for help. We've been begging the federal government for over a year, and we're still in the same situation. These are obviously unprecedented times, and sometimes drastic times call to measures. And that's what Texas decided to do. It's a state initiative. Texas decided to bus some of these immigrants to Washington, to New York, and just so they can, maybe we avoid that out of sight, out of mind type of thing,
right.
And now you have them there and what we're going through, maybe that way we will get their attention somehow.
Yeah. It's just like every other liberal policy. It's all great until it shows up in your backyard. Oh yeah, defund the police until the bullets are flying past your house. Everything else. I only have 30 seconds left because I've blown this whole show out with breaking news. But what is your message to Eric Adams, to Muriel Bowser, to Democrats?
You know what? Just unfortunately, we're in the same situation, except that's just a fraction of what we have been seeing for over a year. So please be patient with us. Because it will continue as long as Texas continues to do that. Unfortunately, will have to continue to happen. Again, drastic measures, for drastic times, and that's what we're doing.
Keep sending them. Send twice as many. Let's really let's pump it. This is fun to watch. Yolanda Ramon, the Eagle Pass, Texas Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.